Israel-Gaza-Iran War News Live Update. Hezbollah attacks have deprived Israel of northern sovereignty, according to Blinken. Speaking about the cross-border tensions that could spark a bigger regional war in addition to the Gaza conflict, the Secretary of State stressed the gravity of the situation. Secretary of State Antony J. Blinken stated this week that Hezbollah attacks from southern Lebanon have driven many people from northern Israel, leading to Israel has effectively lost sovereignty in that area. This highlights the gravity of the cross-border attacks, which have the potential to spark a larger regional war in addition to the Gaza conflict. Preceding a trip by senior White House official Amos Hochstein to Paris for talks on defusing the growing border fire between Israel and the Iran-backed Hezbollah fighters in Lebanon, Mr. Blinken addressed. In President Biden's efforts to end the border dispute, Mr. Hochstein, the senior White House official responsible for international energy and infrastructure, has assumed the role of de facto mediator. A source familiar with the discussions confirmed Mr. Hochstein's intention to meet with French authorities. The source wished to remain anonymous in order to discuss delicate diplomatic matters. France maintained some influence in Lebanon after World War I and has provided suggestions to end the violence. The country was formerly a French protectorate. There was no immediate word from the White House. Hezbollah, an Iranian-backed militant organization that has assaulted northern Israel with rockets in support of Hamas, the armed group that controlled Gaza and initiated the current conflict with its October 7 onslaught on Israel, the United States has spent months trying to keep the two sides from going to war. As cross-border gunfire has escalated in recent weeks, fears of a full-scale, open war between Hezbollah and Israel have grown. Israeli leaders have openly discussed refocusing their military efforts from Hamas to Hezbollah, a considerably more sophisticated and formidable adversary. According to X, a senior fellow at the Middle East Institute named Faraz Maksad argued that the major actors may still work together to reach a diplomatic resolution. He predicted that Mr. Hochstein's travel would take place on Wednesday. A diplomatic opportunity is closing but not closed, he remarked. On Monday, Mr. Blinken made an appearance at the nonpartisan Brookings Institution in Washington, D.C. He stated his belief that the momentum from the conflicts could lead to war, but he did not believe that Iran, Hezbollah, and Israel wished to go to war. Officials in the U.S. are worried that if this kind of war breaks out, they will have no choice but to defend Israel. The truth is, nobody wants a conflict, Mr. Blinken admitted. As a resolute opponent of Israel, Iran wants to make sure that Hezbollah is not destroyed and that it can hang on to Hezbollah as a card if it needs it, if it ever gets into a direct battle with Israel, he informed. A large number of the 60,000 Israelis who have escaped the border battle area have been residing in hotels in Tel Aviv for the past 9 months. Israel has virtually lost sovereignty in the northern quadrant of its country because people don't feel secure to go to their homes, Mr. Blinken added, referring to that situation. Combat has also forced tens of thousands of Lebanese citizens to flee their homes in the south. Unless we address the issue of insecurity, individuals will lack the self-assurance to return, Mr. Blinken stated. An agreement to withdraw forces from the border is necessary to resolve the issue, he continued. Hezbollah has promised to stop firing into Israel in the event of a Gaza ceasefire, as pointed out by Mr. Blinken. A ceasefire in Gaza is important, he added, because of this. A stalemate has emerged in the most recent round of Israeli-Hamas negotiations. Mr. Hochstein has been meeting with Israeli and Lebanese officials in recent weeks in an attempt to negotiate a withdrawal of Hezbollah forces to a distance from the border that would satisfy Israel. Lebanese officials can relay communications to and from Hezbollah. Experts predict that the United States may offer financial aid to southern Lebanon in exchange for Israel's possible withdrawal from certain contested border regions.